Well, hello everybody. 5 p.m. GMT on my clock, whatever time it is, wherever you are, welcome. I'm so excited to share today's event with you. I'm sure there are still people coming in. Um, and of course, lots of people also join us in the recording. So to those that are experiencing this via recording, welcome to you too. I'm really excited about today. Um, there's two very exciting things happening. The first one, as I'm sure you know, is we're having breath work with my beloved brother Josh. So Josh and I met just now many years ago. Josh came with his, I guess, fiancée at the time, with Casey. They came to South Africa. They did spiritual safari with me. And it was just one of those meetings, like I felt like such an alien. Inside of Tribe, I've shared this story many times, so bear with me if you've heard the story before. I felt so alienated in my life. I felt like I just don't belong anywhere. Um, and I sort of spent my young life hoping to somewhere meet my soul family, meet people who I really feel just connection and belonging with. And when Josh was here for spiritual safari, I felt that connection, that belonging. I felt this is my brother. Um, so I ended up going to the States to officiate the wedding for Josh and Casey, and it's been a long time since I was there. I'm looking forward to going back to the States to go and meet their children that they now have. But anyway, that's all just background. Josh is, besides from being my soul brother, Josh is also a breathwork practitioner. And that's what he's going to be doing today, leading a breathwork. And when we go to the States to do our Lightship event, it looks like Josh is going to also be leading a breathwork at the Lightship event. So this is all very exciting for me personally. And I look forward to sharing Josh's talents with you in just a little while. Um, just by way of note, the first half of today's 2 hour session is really about the breath work. And then the second half is an opportunity to talk about the Lightship and other events. Lisa and Zoe and I are going to be going to Germany and then to America towards the end of this year. We're going to be doing Lightship events, and we're also going to be doing something really amazing and fun called Magical Mystery Enlightenment Tour. So we've got wonderful things to share with you, which we will be talking about in a little while. But first, over to you, Josh. If you'd like to say hello, introduce yourself, over to you, brother.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for the intro, Art. Moved me to hear that. Thinking back on our meeting, I come across Arn's work online and did one session with him. I just felt like I know this person from somewhere just from seeing him speak in a YouTube video. And I think after one session, I said, okay, I want to do this spiritual safari thing you have. And I want to bring my girlfriend and I want to propose to her while I'm there. And and can you make all that happen and set up a good spot for the proposal? Um, and I'd felt a lot of the same alienation that Arn describes. I think probably most everybody in this group has experienced that to some degree if you're this far along in the awakening journey. Um, so it's really exciting to be here now and to be connecting with Arn's tribe. Thank you all for being here. Um, there's a lot of in terms of the breath work, there's so many techniques out there and so many of them are wonderful. Um, and while I am a breath work practitioner, I see it more as a gateway to connecting with the soul, connecting with our higher guidance. Um, And especially for people who are self-responsibility enthusiasts, like I think everyone in this group must be knowing are, and I've also followed along and tuned into a lot of the gatherings. It's just a great tool for self-responsibility because even those of us that have identified what self-responsibility means and are endeavoring to live it, it's easy to get drawn into um, other responsibility themes in life, especially when the world is changing so quickly now, and perhaps we wish others would join us, family members, spouses, friends. And so I find that whenever I'm experiencing any frustration with what's happening in the outer world, or at least my perception of the outer world, or wishing that my mom would meet me where I am, or colleagues in my work environment um, would wake up, because for many of us it seems so obvious what's happening, and like this is an amazing opportunity to, in this lifetime, evolve in a way we haven't had the opportunity before in past lifetimes. It's a very unique opportunity on the earth right now. And so, um, who feels some level of intermittent or perhaps persisting frustration around other people in your life not changing and not meeting you where you are? Just okay. Yeah. And who feels some in spiritual circles right now, there's a lot of talk about what's to come. And I think it's really valuable. I love the way the Arn balances that because sometimes it's easy to want to bypass the nitty-gritty of what's happening on the earth, and here we are on earth. At the same time, that point of focus I find can cause anxiety. Do we have enough? Are we ready? Do we have water, food? Do we have alternative means of financial exchange? All those things. Um, and I believe it's wise to explore those things. But so how many here feel anxiety right now about what's to come, the uncertainty of it? Yeah. So so at this point, it feels like everybody's identified that, managing it pretty well and being with it. So it's not as pressing as it is for maybe some people, but it still can come in. And um, I find that the breath is a great way to go back to self-responsibility because we can look in the outer world and see that there's chaos and, it may get more intense and there may be mayhem, tumult, and possibly even tragedy, widespread. Instead of focusing on the chaos and the tumult in the outer world, we can shift our focus back into where we're carrying chaos or where we're carrying discord or judgment and focus on inner peace. And by focusing on cultivating inner peace, we can return to balance and contribute much more meaningfully to truly being peace workers. So that said, I'll go into some technical, just a little bit of an explanation on the breath. How many people have done breath work before of some kind? Okay, so about half of you. It's really simple. That's also what I like about it, especially this form of it. It's really simple. It involves two breaths in and one breath out. So the first breath is in the low belly. And in a minute, I'll lay down and demonstrate so you can actually see, uh, give you a bodily demonstration. The first breath is in the low abdomen. The second breath is in the high heart area and then out through the mouth. So it's And that's really all it is. And I'll direct you to change the pace, pick up the pace, intensify the pace at various stages. And all you have to do is just keep breathing. At some points, I may talk and give directives, and that can get a little confusing, but just let it be. All you need to do is keep breathing. And if you don't hear me, or if there's a technical thing that comes up with the Zoom and you didn't hear something I said, it doesn't matter. Just stay with the breath. When in doubt, just stay with the breath, and you're going to have a wonderful experience. The way this particular technique works is there's two stages. There's a masculine, what I consider a masculine stage, and a feminine stage. The masculine stage is about, oh, today will be about 8 or 9 minutes. We'll start easily with the breath, and then we'll pick up the intensity. And so there's almost an athletic component to it, almost like riding a bike up a hill. And so there's some effort involved. And during that time, you'll have sensations. The hands can start tingling. The mouth might start tingling. That's all good. That's a sign of the body opening up. And as the body opens up, we were able to receive more of spirit, more of our higher self, if you will, enter the body. As the mind relaxes, the mind softens, the body opens up, the chakra systems open up. We oxygenate the blood. And that oxygenation of the blood opens up the endocrine system and the chakra system. And we're able to take in more of our higher light emerging. So during this masculine phase, it may feel intense, it may feel kind of overwhelming. I'll always encourage you to keep pushing through. Um, if at any point it feels like too much, however, you can shift the breath to simple in through the nose and out through the nose. At any time, you can do that. And one of the times that that may happen, though this is rare, is sometimes people's hands will actually, the vibration in the hands will reach a point where the hands might start cramping up slightly. And again, I would encourage you to keep breathing, but if this feels a little scary or just too much, you can always slow down in the inhale through the nose and out through the nose. Place the palms together over your heart chakra and just gently rub them together. And the cramping should subside. It always has. Um, and also with this particular type of breath work, it circumvents any chance of passing out. There's some types of intense circular breathing where people sometimes pass out, and this breath, due to the pace of it, the design of it, that won't happen. It's never happened with anybody I've worked with, and the person who trained me in this specific technique, he's trained hundreds of other healers and worked with thousands of people and never had that happen. So all that is to say, this is a safe environment for you. You are safe here, you're free, and you're loved. And before I lay down and give you a bodily demonstration, does anybody have any quick questions about the technique, or does anybody have any like concerns or apprehension coming up?
You can raise your hand. So use the react. You can raise your hand if you want to ask a question or if you have any concerns.
Okay, cool.
Joyce, won't you go ahead and unmute yourself, Joyce?
I didn't catch how you do that breath. You did it really fast. The one that you showed us, there's two breaths.
Okay, great. That's a preliminary. That was a little preliminary demonstration. I'm going to lie down now,
Yeah.
and I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to get back up, sit down again, and have you all lie down, and we'll begin breathing. And for the first 2 minutes, or thereabouts, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, I'm going to breathe myself. And you can mirror my breath. All you have to do is follow along. And at that point, once we get into a rhythm, I may talk a bit, I may give some directives. And again, if you can't hear me or you go so deep that you just want to tune in and don't want to hear me, that's okay too. The main thing is to keep breathing. If you keep breathing, I believe you're going to have a lovely experience. And I'll just add, so describe the masculine phase, and as we move into what I call the feminine phase, everything starts to soften, and the intensity that comes in the masculine phase starts to settle, and we drop really into a nice, still, resting place, and perhaps a theta brain state. And we'll stay in that place for a bit, and then I'll lead you into finally where we'll just be breathing in and out through the nose, and it's a deep resting place. So just know that there's a sweet reward at the end for what will feel like effort in the first 8 to 9 minutes. And so I'm just going to lay down here and set this up so you can see. Oh, that's not working. Let's try this. Okay, so everybody should be able to see my torso and chest. And so this is what it looks like. And you want to feel really let your belly loosen up on the low breath. And I'll encourage you too to use your artist imagination. We're all artists. And use your artist imagination to even feel the breath. We know physiologically the breath doesn't go into the legs, but we can use our imagination to draw the breath from the legs, releasing the tension and exhaustion in the thighs and the calves, and bring it up into the lower dantian, and really let the belly expand on that first in-breath. And then the second breath, we draw up from the lower dantian up into the upper chest. And in that breath, that second breath, you can visualize, if you'd like, the heart chakra flowering open. And Aaron's given a beautiful demonstration in his meditations, a description of the heart chakra flowering open. You can even use that. And on the out breath, you can visualize the breath going out through the crown. If those visualizations just complicate it for you or feel like too much, if you're less of a visual person, just keep breathing and the main thing is the first breath is into the low belly, the second through the high heart and out. So at first it might feel a little cumbersome because we're taking 2 inhalations before an exhalation. But that's part of the magic of this particular technique. So does that make sense? Is there anybody who feels like they're not vibing it or understanding that description? Anybody raising their hand? Okay. Okay, great. And we want everybody so does everybody have a good spot to lay down? You just want a spot where you can be cozy and relax the body and the head propped on a pillow, but not 2 pillows or more, because we want to keep the throat chakra open. So we want to have it a pretty shallow pillow or a resting or folded yoga mat or something of that nature, a folded towel. And if you have an extra pillow by your side, I may guide us all at some point to let out a primal scream into the pillow. And sometimes that can really open up the energy, get the energy moving in the body. If you have family or, roommates, we don't want to unnerve them, but the pillow helps to muffle that. So if you have that, that's great. If you don't have an extra pillow, you can always do one of these. You can do it to your arm.
So, Josh, we have a question about is breathing only through the mouth or mouth and nose or?
Great question. So it's only through the mouth. Okay. So it's 2 breaths in and 1 breath out through the mouth. Now that said, later in the stage, I'll direct you as we come out of this, as we move into the resting place, we'll stop the mouth breathing and we'll move into a gentle, just in and out through the nose at your own pace. But for the active part of this session, we'll be breathing in and out through the mouth exclusively. That's what really helps to oxygenate the blood and to open up the system and to get the energy moving. And you're going to find that energy will move. We may tune into places where there's stuck energy, lower chakras, energy around money, energy around sexuality, anything that feels blocked, we can let that move. And the breath is going to help that energy move. And as a result, emotions may come up. And if emotions come up, that's fantastic. Feel them. If you feel like crying, this is a safe place to do that and a very wonderful place to do that. Any emotions you have, this is a great place to feel them and allow them to move. So looks like most people are laying down now. For those of you who haven't yet, go ahead and lay down and get comfortable. And just allow your back to soften into the bed, into the hammock, or onto the floor, wherever you're laying. Take just one deep breath in through the nose and let it out. Let the body soften. And now tune your awareness into the body. Just going to guide you through some little bit of body awareness before we begin breathing. Take the hands and clench them as tight as you can for a 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Release. Now tense your arms like they're planks of wood and really tighten them. Tighten, 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 tighten. Release. And now tighten the legs like they're planks of wood. Tighten, 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 and release. And now we're going to tighten the whole body like one big plank of wood. Tighten, tighten, tighten. All the muscles in the back, the neck, the face, and release. Allowing the body to soften more into the resting place and allowing the root chakra to open up like a ruby red rose. And dropping a pillar of earthy, loamy, ruby red light down into the earth, down through the various aspects of the earth, through the hollow spaces, through the granite spaces, through the sand spaces, through the hollow spaces, down, 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 connecting into the center of the earth, hooking into the center of the earth, where we exchange with Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia is exchanging this energy. She's returning to us the sacred honeyed nectar of the healed Mother Earth, the sacred honeyed nectar of the healed Mother Earth, coming back up through that pillar of light, up, 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 through the various spaces of the earth, the hollow spaces, the granite spaces, the sandy spaces, the hollow spaces closer to the surface, and now up through the earth and back into our root chakra, hooking in. So there's a twin movement, there's a twin vectors of movement that we're releasing from the root chakra, and at the same time there's a movement of energy up from the Mother Earth, the honeyed nectar, the sacred honeyed nectar of the healed Mother Earth, moving up into our root chakra. opening the root chakra even more, letting it flower open, letting this energy then move up into the sacral chakra, opening that sun-kissed orange orb of energy, allowing it to pulsate. Good. And now allowing the energy from Mother Earth moving up into the belly, higher into the belly, where it congregates and aggregates in the sacral chakra. Allow the sacral chakra to open up, that golden orb of light opening and fountaining open, pulsating. And now allowing the light to move up into the heart chakra, allowing the heart chakra to fountain open. Crystalline green light and the pink light of the high heart and any other light that comes to mind of the heart chakra, allowing that to flower open, allowing that heart chakra to move its energy out through the body into the arms and aggregating and collecting in the palms of the hands. Palms of the hands, the chakras in the palms of the hands, which are extension of the heart chakra. And now allowing the energy from the heart chakra to move up into the throat, allowing the throat to fountain open. Snowflake blue light, allowing it to fountain open 360 degrees from your throat. Good. And just clear the throat if you feel anything stuck there. Give it a little cough and allow that throat chakra, that beautiful throat chakra, to fountain open. And now allowing that light, that energy to move up into the pineal, into the third eye expanding open from within, pineal, and projecting out through the forehead, out into the world, seeing what wants to be seen, seeing what is ready to be seen, allowing this third eye to open as we prepare to move into the breath. And now allowing that light to move up into the crown, softening the scalp, softening the bones within the skull, and allowing that beautiful crown chakra to fountain open, violet crown. And now allowing a pillar of golden light from 350 feet in the sky, a portal 350 feet in the sky. This may represent as a ship to you, and allowing this light to fountain down to your crown, activating the soul star chakra 2 feet or so above the head. And we're just going to use our artist's imagination to allow the brain organ to drift up into the soul star chakra and closing it in a safe cocoon of light. And just allowing, this is a symbolism for the brain, the thinking mind, to allow it to take a break. We're going to take a break, give it a rest right now. And when we're done, we can go back to our thinking. We can go back to researching on the computer, looking up our favorite conspiracy or whatever it is, our to-do list, our banking. But for now, we're giving it permission to rest here in this space. And now the light from the portal, 350 feet in the sky, descends and merges with all the energy, the chakra system of Mother Earth, the divine masculine light from these heavens merging with the divine feminine light of the healed Mother Earth within our bodies, within our cells. And just asking ourselves, this is a rhetorical question that doesn't require an answer, just feel into it. What would it feel like to allow even more ease into our personal transformation? And what would it feel like to allow even more ease and peace into our perception and experience of the outer transformation within the collective, on the planet? And now from this place, Aaron, you can go ahead and start the music I'm going to just start breathing. Just follow my breath. Next 90 seconds, I'll breathe with you. And again, afterwards, I'll stop breathing and you can go at your own pace. And don't worry if you don't. Don't worry about synchronizing with a group or with me. Here we go. Good, you guys are all doing great. All doing great. Just nice and easy. Let the breath expand the belly on the way in. Second breath, expanding the high chest. And now I'm going to ask you to take in 10 to 20% more breath. Entering the masculine phase, and this may feel like effort. This will be a nice payoff again. If you feel your hands starting to tingle, your mouth tingling, that's a sign of the body opening. That's wonderful. Keep breathing. Allow 10% more breath in. Really allow the belly to expand. Let it open. Let your back melt into the bed. All right, we're going to activate the dragon fire in the breath. Activate the dragon fire in the breath. All you need to do is ask and it will come. I'm activating my dragon aspect, Sovereign 2. I'm requesting Sovereign 2, bringing in Sovereign 2 into the space. One of you now inviting in the dragon realm, inviting in a representative of the spectator one within the dragon realm. Allowing in the dragon fire, flames of gold and violet, flames of gold and violet, allowing these flames into the body, into the breath. Like you can vocalize on the exhale. Ah. 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 This. Mouth vibrating, tension in the mouth. Vocalizing on the exhale is a great way to open up the mouth and open up the facial nerves, facial nervous. Ah. Mouth. Ah. Ah. But I'm going to encourage you to push the breath. 1 more minute. And 2 breaths into the mouth and 1 breath out through the mouth. Feeling any intensity in the body, any frustration in the body. Maybe this is frustrating. I'm talking to you and I'm asking you to breathe and there's music and it's a little confusing. If you have frustration around that, this is a time now we can let out a primal yell. If you have a pillow, you can yell into the pillow. Otherwise, you can yell into the arm like I'm going to do on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Oh! Ah! You don't feel like it, you can just kind of fake it. Fake it till you make it. 1 more. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Ah. Yeah. Good. Good. A couple more breaths. Now I'm going to ask you to let out a laugh. If you don't feel like laughing, just fake it. It can even feel like a fake chuckle. You might find that if you fake it, it might merge into a natural laugh. Okay, we're going to do one more on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's a silliness to it. I'm talking to you. There's music. It's a little confusing. I'm asking you to breathe. Let's all find the humor in it. 1, 2, 3. Good. And you might find your heart opening with the humor, allowing the humor in. Good. And back to the breath. Doing great, Brenna. Feel you. Great, Aneka. Feel you. Out of the heart up, pushing down into the feminine energy. You might find there's less effort with the breath, even as we breathe deeply. Doing great, feel you. Last, slowly drift your hands up over your heart space. Rub your hands together. That's it. And now rub your hands faster. And as you rub your hands faster, you might naturally feel the breath increase. The faster the hands rub together, the faster you breathe. Might feel intense. We're almost done. The intensity. Breathing faster. Really allowing the body to expand. Really letting the belly expand. Great. Now feel the hands drift apart. Let them drift apart about a foot apart. Wonderful. Let them float above your heart space about a foot apart. Bring them 2 inches in and 2 inches out, letting them drift like butterfly wings. Feeling the energy, a bubble of energy in the hands form. Bubble of pink healing energy forming between the chakras in your hands and the space between them. Good. Now, allowing the hands to drift together, slowly pressing the bubble of light and letting it dissolve into the hands as the hands meet together. Hands contact together. Bring the warmth between the hands, letting the hands gently make contact now with your hands. And folding your hands over your heart center. Still breathing through the mouth, but it's easier now. It's a gentler breath. Letting your hands move into your heart and spread, radiate throughout your body. Breathing out a little easier. The love for your body, the gratitude for your body. Move from your hand into your heart space, radiating out to every cell in your body. And gratitude for this vessel that volunteered to be with you on this amazing journey in this lifetime. Body that's been with you through highs and lows, and through times perhaps you were unkind to the body, unkind with your thoughts, various parts of the body, perhaps unkind with behaviors, with consumption, whatever it is. Saying to your body, sorry, my dear body, for any time I've been unkind to you. I love you. I'm here for you now. I'm listening. Love you. Thank you. Any part of your body that's struggling or has struggled, you can move your hands to that part of the body. For me, sometimes lift the belly, maybe your face. Judgments about your face or any other part of your body. Place your loving hands there now. Now we'll shift the breath. The nose. Shifting the breath into the nose. And you're allowing the love to radiate out of your hands. Breaths into the nose. Resting in place. Gratitude for your body. Gratitude for yourself. Trusting yourself. Believing in yourself. Arriving here where you are now. And gratitude for your courage. Do the work of exploration. life to allow more ease, more stillness. Like my body into my personal transformation. You can start coming back, bringing your consciousness back to the and wiggle your toes. Open and close your hands, bring the awareness back to the room. Really taking your time. There's no need to sit up. No need to rush out of this. Moving mindfully out of this at a pace that feels good to you.
So folks, we'll also be moving directly into body break. So on my clock over here, it's 8 minutes past the hour. We'll just allow until quarter past the hour before we'll sort of resume with the next part of the meeting. So, Josh, if there's anything else you want to say or to offer as people are returning, you obviously are welcome.
Well, there's some things I would ask, but I'd like people to be able to stay in silent, restful space as they move into the break, I think. And I'll stick around and look forward to the other portion of today's episode.
Perfect. All right. So folks, take your time, relax, rise on your own pace, have your body break at your own pace, and I will catch you all again at quarter past the hour.
Hey Josh, this is Scott. I'd like to share something if that's okay when you get a chance.
Yeah, we can do that now if you'd like. I don't know, Arn, how is that okay? Your time
Sure.
frame?
Sure.
This,
I see Scott and Claudia have their hands up. There's anybody else who wants to talk, who wants to share, who has issues or anything, please feel free, raise your hand. You go to the react button, and from there you raise your hand, and then we'll bring you on. But before we do, there was a question, will this be available on replay? Yes, it will. And folks, if you really enjoyed this, if you found a lot of value in this, and you would like to express gratitude to Josh, I'm putting a donate link in the chat pane. Please feel free to balance the energy with a little love, with a donation for Josh. And then yeah, let's start with you, Scott. Go ahead and unmute. Let's hear your question.
oh, actually, just an experience. As we're doing the breath work, and then as I was rubbing my hands, you notice I have my my chair here. My couch, I was lying down, and here's the wall. I found myself connected to another me somewhere in another time or space doing the exact same thing. He was on a couch, but over here was a white wall. So he was in like a seaside apartment, like 3 or 4 levels up. And first, all I got was just connecting with my other self, this other person. Everything I was doing, I felt he was doing, and he could feel me. And it just got it. We were just in sync. I don't know what it was, but like I felt like could I touch this? Reach out, kind of touch him. I kind of got the sense just to kind of kiss my hand, and I felt kind of weird about doing that. But when I did it, I immediately kind of chuckled, and that other me chuckled because he was doing the exact same thing. And I got him. it was like weird because I could see his apartment in my mind as I was lying down. The music was playing. He had a desk with a little computer thing on the side. It was kind of a narrow room, and then he had this beautiful seaside view. It was like 3 or 4 stories up, and it was just it was just this other me. It was me, but it was in another time or place, or I don't know, but we were doing the exact same meditation. So I that just came out of nowhere, and I just said, okay, I'll just go with it. So
Awesome,
it's
Scott.
it
We're
was
having a multi-dimensional experience. We're multi-dimensional,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it feels like that's soul communication as a confirmation that this is a practice that works for you. And I would encourage you to, as soon as this meetup's over, to journal about the experience, free flow, and you may gather other details or insights. And I would encourage everybody to do that. I find that especially in the later stages when we're in the still space, it's there's a lot of receptivity for receiving insights from spirit, from our star families, from other multidimensional aspects as you did. That's really cool.
yeah, it was really neat. I was just kind of in wow. It's just like, all right, we were just doing the same things. We moved my hands, and I just felt we were it was like we were mirrors of each other. It was really cool. So thanks, and thank you, Josh. That was really cool experience.
Thank you, Scott. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'll just say quickly, I didn't see the chat in the beginning. I didn't have that loaded up, so I saw some questions afterwards. And for those of you that expressed that you enjoyed it, I'm so happy. Um, and I would, Scott, your question is very specific and personal to you, but I think there's a great group aspect to it, in that I find that after getting these tidbits in that receptive resting space at the end, that by journaling afterwards, it can unfold more. It's an awesome practice to do after the breathing, is go right to the. Sometimes I'll do the breathing and go right to my journal, and that's where I get my sort of insights and marching orders from my guides. It has a way of really calming and stilling the thinking mind, and that opens us up to receive.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Josh.
that's amazing, Scott. So it's really these kinds of practices are magical. They're magical because we reach beyond the self. And breathwork is amazing. I've had some absolutely like transcendent psychedelic experiences on breathwork. So thank you so much for your sharing. Before I get to Claudio and Barbie, I just want to share with you, Josh, there's a question here in the chat pane from Howard. He says he noticed on the belly breath, he was tensing his gluteus maximus, his butt muscles, and on the chest breath, he was tensing his shoulders. And should he not do that? Or do you have other input?
Well, I wouldn't offer resistance to those parts of the body. Those parts of the body are communicating with you. And who's this question from? I'm sorry, Scott? No, Scott,
That's
I
from
just spoke
Howard.
to. Howard. So, Howard, what I would encourage is tuning into those parts of the body, and they're representing places where on some level, you're not wanting to let go. And we all have those places. And so when you're doing this breath, when you can feel into those places, and rather than saying, well, I shouldn't be doing this, or I need to be open and free and I shouldn't have this. This is where we are, and we're always operating from where we are. And so when you tune into those places, you can direct the breath to like for instance, on the first breath in, you can allow the breath to pull up from the buttocks and really just give your awareness to that part of your body. And that in itself can start to create a softening. You can even say to that part of the body, I'm listening to you. I'm open to receiving what you have to share with me. and go back to the breathing. And that can be very powerful and freeing. But rather than offer resistance, I just really allow it and work with those parts of the body.
Cool advice. All right. So Claudio, you have your hand up. Why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself, brother?
Yes. Well, once again, I'm shocked how powerful this breathwork is. I just had 9 days ago my first session with Tyler, and it was incredible, but also very, very intense, very heavy fear came up. And so I'm really glad this time it was a bit easier on me and I could enjoy it more. And I really realized how this is, as you said before the meeting, it is merging with your higher self, with the divine. And this time I was really conscious about that, how this is happening. That's why it's vibrating. That's why there's fear, because the ego has to surrender in order to allow the divine in. And you either surrender or you fight, and that's your fear of this thing that is coming in. But it's good to see how beautiful it is once you allow it, and step by step, this is how we can integrate the divine in ourselves. And I also really realized how this is creating the new reality. This is birthing the divine inside of myself, but also the new earth, giving birth to the new earth as a collective. It was really beautiful. And once again, I'm so shocked that a little bit of breathing makes you go psychedelic. It's crazy, but it's so much more conscious and softer than actual psychedelics. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad this tool exists, and I think it's the perfect time to discover it for me right now. And yeah, thank you so much for this session.
That's awesome, Claudia. Thank you for that share. It was really beautiful.
So,
And I go ahead, Art.
Barbie has pointed out that it seems that the donation page I have shared doesn't work. So if you'd like, you can use, I've put on another link, zingdad.com/donate. And just in the note, just say for breathwork or for Josh, just so that we know where to channel it, so that there is another link that works. All right. And then I see we have two more questions. Barbie, would you like to unmute yourself and respond?
Yes, this was absolutely amazing. I just was gone in this breath work, and I mean, what I found myself doing is breathing to the rhythm of what was playing. There was a couple of times where I was doing two deep ones and then a heart one and then out. And if it went fast, sometimes it was quicker. But the whole thing moved me just to another dimension. It's just like I wasn't here. And the downloads start coming so fast about Tribe Live in the USA. I could not kind of keep up with it. It just seemed like this was the day of download. So I'll share that later. But wow, this was a wonderful, wonderful experience and tool. And I think because this has been recorded, I'm praying and hoping we will be able to continue to use this like we do Arn's wonderful meditations and dawning spells and things like that. This is a wonderful high level tool. I think that's going to be really helpful in getting in touch with deeper issues maybe that we're wanting to explore or to bring up or get rid of, embrace and get rid of. So anyway, wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Barb. I'm
Barbie,
so glad.
sorry, Josh, I'm so used to hosting this thing. I always just leap right in. Go ahead and reply, please, brother.
Time management isn't my strong suit, as you know. So I'll defer to you, but I would like to just that's awesome, Barbie. And you mentioned downloads. It reminds me of something because it really does. It really opens us up to receive. And gosh, this is 10 years ago. I was doing breath work at a firewalk in New Mexico, with a person who trained me in it, and I had this download, which was a mantra that was giving to me, which was, "I am the light ship." And the mantra started just happening to me in the resting state of this meditation. And then later I went right to my journal and wrote that out. And it became something I used as a mantra without quite knowing exactly what it meant. Over time, I came to understand that the light ship is a life force of its own, and I'm carrying it, holding it, spreading it on the earth. And then years later, I'm talking to my soul brother Arn, and he's like doing light ship events, and um, so it was an amazing download that came to me then, and it is an amazing tool to receive in that way. And to Claudia, your point about psychedelics, I did quite a bit of ayahuasca for a period of time, many sessions of ayahuasca, and I got the marching orders that was enough, maybe 8 years ago. The breath is a way to make contact with that place without any medicine, and there's something
Wow.
empowering about that. I mean, it doesn't have the same kind of fireworks as being in the jungle and drinking ayahuasca, but I received the same awarenesses, the same multidimensional perspectives, and there's something self-empowering about that because we are creating it with our breath. We're not, as opposed to using an outside source, which is a beautiful source. But I think at this time, for those of us on the awakening path, there's something empowering about creating our own cosmic journeys.
It's like we're moving into a higher level of self-responsibility, which is such a theme for me. We're not waiting for somebody else. We're not trying to take a pill. We're not handing it to someone else to give us this sort of a transcendent experience. We're just breathing. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
All right. So Annika has her hand up. Annika, won't you please go ahead and unmute yourself?
I don't speak very good English, but I think you understand me. I want to say thank you. I don't understand all what you say, and I think I don't make all right. But in one moment, I found many love in me, and I was painful because I give more many love to all people, but there are many people, they don't feel my love. They can't feel my love, and it's painful for me, and I found it in this meditation. And thank you for this.
Oh, that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. And I understood the sentiment of what you're saying perfectly, Annika.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Okay, so that's we've run out of hands. So I guess that's all the questions and comments. Is there a closing thought from you, Josh?
Well, there's a couple questions in the chat about the primal scream, and since Annika mentioned the laughter, those are both kind of playful ways to get the throat chakra to open, and by engaging with a little playfulness and then going back to the breath, it can really open up the system, and especially the throat if there's any blockages, and often we close off on the throat, I find. So,
Yeah, well, I really enjoyed.
Thank you. No, I want to hear what you really enjoyed.
I really enjoyed the laughter because I I don't want to say struggling. I was engaged with the audio, trying to get the audio balanced, and because we're playing the music from South Africa, we've got your voice from the USA, and we're reaching people all over the world, and it's just every now and again it glitches and it doesn't work, and I was just feeling frustrated with that. When you said if there's frustration, you laugh, and it was so beautiful because I could just laugh it out and let it go.
That's great. That's great. And it's designed for that as well. There's often it's kind of a paradoxical approach to be having people focus on their breath, but then also receiving a bunch of directives, and they're hearing music, they're hearing me talk. And so, yeah, I encourage people when they feel frustration to really just allow it, and then the laughter can be a great way to sort of let it soften. So in closing, thank you so much for everybody. I really, really enjoyed that, and I really felt the energy of this group. Started feeling it yesterday, and I really felt you when we were breathing. Um, and I wanted to put out, if anybody wants to work with me personally, I go in waves where my three kids, 5 and under, and I also work in TV and film. And so for periods of time, that's 70 hours a week. And I'm in a space now where I have time to do one-on-one sessions, and I love doing that. And we have a space worked out now where I can find some privacy without the kids crying. I made it through an hour today. So I'm diving back into that. So if anybody would like to do that, get my personal email through ARN. My healing website is being rebuilt. So I don't have that way of communicating and scheduling. But if anybody wants to, I would be happy to do that. And I would love to offer a discounted rate of say $111. And then in addition to that, a sliding scale, because I know that a lot of people who are early awakeners are experiencing financial challenges. And so it feels important, and I wouldn't want concerns about money to get in the way. And so if that's the case for any individual here, you could just email me, and you don't need to go into detail. You can just say, hey, I'm feeling some stress around money. Can I, offer you $30 or whatever feels in alignment to you? And I would be happy to do that.
All
Really
right.
enjoy that.
Josh, before you go, I see that there is still one more question. Joyce has raised her hand. We'll get to Joyce in a moment. And Jutta sent a very nice comment, which I'd like to read. Thanks so much for the session. I felt some kindness and gentleness and opening up coming back into the body, which has been tense in pain and discomfort for quite a while. That was a relief. So, and then Vedo asks, is there a Venmo donation option for you? Do you do Venmo?
I don't. I could, you know what? I had an account where I was having to pay for that was the way I was paying for our kids' farm school. So I can revive that account if you'd like to do that. I can email Art afterwards my Venmo. I think I can revive that account and offer a Venmo link. Thank you.
Okay. Veda says otherwise she will do PayPal. Okay. So that was just absolutely wonderful. Joyce, your question, please.
This may be a little bit dumb, but at the end, I was watching, while I was doing it, I was watching him, Josh, raising his hands like this, and then going, doing the mudra. How does it go? Like this, on his heart. And I thought, and I was doing that too, because I was seeing you do it. And then I thought, well, wait, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing it, because maybe you're sending energy to everyone. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to mirror you in every way,
That's a great question, Joyce. It's not dumb. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with you mirroring that. That's something that, and toward the end, I feel into my guidance system, and so I'm sending certain energies. And I don't know if anybody felt it, but the Dolphin Collective was coming through, and that brings kind of a sweet playfulness into the heart. And sometimes I just follow my hands into where they're guided without thinking a lot about it. So, but if you felt compelled to mirror that, then that's totally fine.
I was mirroring it at first, and then I was like, wait a minute, he's sending energy. So then I just stopped, and I could feel you kind of sending energy in certain ways. So I guess I just wondered.
Well, I'm glad you felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Josh, from my side, thank you so
Great.
much. I certainly felt your amazing holding and the energy that you were channeling. It's if you haven't led something like this, it's difficult to tune into what it actually means to lead. You know, it's not that you're just leading some technical stuff. You're actually holding the group, and you did that beautifully. And I'm so grateful that we had you for this, and that we will be working together again in the future. I look forward to that.
So much, brother, for involving me today, and I really look forward to doing it live with the Lightship event.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. All right, so folks, we also promised to talk about the Lightship event, talk about the forthcoming Lightship event, and what I want to say is we are right in the middle. So we've got the eon that lies behind us, a long time where humanity has been in stasis, in a state of deep forgetting, and where we've the watchers, those who are responsible for observing the world into reality, on a scientific level, we understand that potentiality, a cloud of potentiality, a cloud of possibility, gets observed into reality by observers, by watchers. So the watchers that have been observing, let's just say their job has been to keep the frequency of consciousness low. That's the sort of the charitable way of saying it. To keep the frequency of consciousness low so that souls who were stuck at a low frequency could enter the game. But there's also been this sort of dynamic tension as those of us, star seeds and light bringers and light workers, have been entering the game. And you know, we've been experiencing all these shocking things, being tortured and tormented so that our frequency of consciousness would drop. But it's all meaningful, it's all purposeful, it's all perfect, because we're all awakening now. And as we are awakening, so the watchers of the previous eon are departing the game. So there's a new eon that is beginning, and we're in the feathering between the two. That's where we are now. You are here, right between the two. The previous eon of deep forgetting and the new eon, which is a rapid awakening process. So we're shepherding humanity through this process of a long eon of asleepness into a new eon of awakening. And those of us that are engaged in these kinds of practices, that are choosing, that are pursuing their awakening path, are really leading the charge of the new eon. So we're neatly between the two. And here in between the two, there are these sort of phases. We move through a number of phases. And we're just busy entering a phase which I'm told is called the crucible of chaos. So chaos, really, the meaning of chaos is it's a state that allows a lot of change. When there's a lot of order, a lot of structure in the world, then things tend to be kind of stuck. They get fixed by the order. So we know the Dark Elite have this motto, Ordo ab Chaos, which means making order out of chaos. So that's how they create their new age, their new world, their new earth. That's how they create it. So they want to do that. They want to create a timeline that serves them, a lower frequency timeline, which they're in control of. They have ultimately what they want is totalitarian control. We're already not on the timeline that leads to that low frequency. You just have to have eyes to see. You can see that the dark elite they're fractured and fragmented, and they're fighting against each other, and they're desperate they're no longer trying to grab the whole world. They're now fighting a rearguard action, trying to control what they do have. And particularly what they do have, that they consider their own, is the so-called, like the NATO countries, Europe, America, the NATO countries. They've considered that to be their home turf. So there's an opportunity now, as we move into the crucible of chaos, to plant the highest frequency seeds. You know, it's kind of funny that they like to be called the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, because they're anything but the illuminated ones. But they're also poisoning the idea. They're trying to poison the idea of being the illuminated ones. So they're the fake Illuminati. And I'll let you into a secret. The purpose of all these things that we're doing, all of them, Tribe Live, and this thing I'm sort of busy announcing now, these 3-day events in Europe and America, the Magical Mystery Enlightenment Tour. These are all about awakening us collectively to being the illuminated ones. Because if you think about it, a high frequency soul, 5th density, 6th density, 7th density, if you are in that sort of frequency range, then you are creating vastly more powerfully than somebody who's stuck at 3rd density. As you move into 7th density, you are moving into creator consciousness. So what we're doing through all of this is we are awakening the true Illuminati. We're awakening ourselves to be the illuminated ones. At the level of enlightenment, you are consciously creating all the time. You're a conscious creator being. Your energy, your frequency, your focus, your intention comes back to you. You experience it in your reality ever more and more powerfully. So we don't create alone. We create collectively. We create as a network, because we're creating from, we're stepping up into unity consciousness, and we're creating from this place of unity consciousness. We're creating with the frequency of unconditional love. So we're not trying to create like the false Illuminati, who are trying to create personal power for themselves. They're trying to create dominion. They're trying to create control. They're trying to create totalitarian ownership of the planet. That's what they're trying to do. We're certainly not trying to do that. There's no ego feeding in this. This isn't about the personality. It's not about the self. This is about the highest frequency self expressing its divine alignment with divine will, and from that place create. So we're also creating a network, an interconnected network. As we move into the crucible of chaos, so the dark elite will be wanting to use their tools, the mainstream media and this sort of thing, to tell you what's going on in the world and to frighten you into lowering your frequency, into surrendering your creative power, or using your creative power to create the outcomes they desire. So we're creating also a network, a trusted network of conscious co-creators. So we can co-regulate with each other. Instead of co-regulating with the agenda that's being delivered to us, with the programming that we're being given, we connect with each other and we co-regulate with each other, and we can see, this is what's happening in the media, but my eyes don't see that. My heart doesn't feel that. How are you doing over there, wherever you are? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What's true for you? Okay, we co-regulate with each other out of a place of love and trust. and then we move into conscious co-creation together. So there's a lot going on with all of this, and the mechanisms for this, one is belonging to tribe, being a part of tribe. That's a mechanism. Or you can do tribe live. We're doing these Lightship events. Now, the Lightship events are kind of the Rolls-Royce experience because it's live, it's in person, and it's like dropping light bombs into the collective consciousness. When we did this in South Africa last year, so for example, the hosts at the venue weren't a part of the experience. They weren't inside the experience. They were outside of the experience, taking care of the food and the accommodation, all that stuff. But they reported having absolutely transcendent, beautiful experiences while we were doing this work. It echoed out. It impacted the environment. It changed the frequency of the environment. And that's what happens. So the Lightship event is a beautiful experience. It's a life-changing experience if you're inside it, but it's a magnificent gift to the world around you as well. And at this time, it's so important that we're doing this stuff in Europe and in America, because that's the playground. So that's the Lightship event, but it's pretty intense. Not everybody is ready to sign up for 10 days of this stuff, and not everybody is ready to come and co-create a Lightship. So we're also doing 3-day events, which are, let's call it Lightship Light, because we're not going to do the energy working to create a Lightship, but we're going to have many of the experiences at these 3-day events. So it's easier to engage with, it's lighter to engage with, but the 3-day events are about giving you a taste of enlightenment. It's showing you the pathways to enlightenment. Demystifying what enlightenment is. There's so much nonsense about that. So many like limiting beliefs that we have about what enlightenment is, and ego attachments to what it means to be an enlightened being, and all of that stuff. So we shed all of that, and we find the enlightened self within. Your divine self is already enlightened. It's always enlightened. The ego is never enlightened. So it's just a matter of figuring out how to shift your perspective and inhabit, be with the enlightened self, surrender to the enlightened self. And then we'll show you how to lock into that, and then we connect with this trusted network. So that, in a nutshell, is what it's about. Now, we're right in the middle, talk about the crucible of chaos. We're right in the middle of figuring all this out, of organizing all this, of finding venues and dates and so on. So at this point now, we really only have the dates for the Lightship event in Germany. We're busy putting together the 3-day events in Germany. We've got some venues, and one of the things we're also doing in Germany, those of you who know Harold Kautz, many of my European people come to me via Harold. We're going to also be doing a collaborative event with Harold. It's kind of amazing. Years ago, I taught Harold my sort of soul reintegration and spiritual surgery, and I taught him my techniques, and he took that and he, how can I say it? He crossbred my techniques with family constellation, the concept of family constellation, and there's a whole new evolution of healing that's come out of that. So I'm going back to kind of pick up and learn from what Harold and team have done, and we're going to again take it to a next level. So I'm doing that with Harold, and then I'm also doing at least one 3-day magical mystery enlightenment tour in Germany. Then we're popping across the pond. We're going to America. We are we're just on the cusp of starting to announce our events in America. So if you are in the States and you have space, perhaps a spacious lounge, and you would like to host a 3-day event in your lounge, please contact me. Please email me and let me know that you're interested, you're available. The idea is to keep these intimate. I don't really want to have a hall of 100 people. I really don't want to do groups of, at this point, more than 24 probably. I think that seems to be the number. So if that's something you're keen on, or if you would like to gift your time and your energy to doing some kind of event coordinator, if you would like to go out and find a place that's a perfect venue, and you'd like to scout that for us and be the interface and negotiate with the venue that we do this event there, if you feel for that, please contact me so that we can start preparing the 3-day events in America. And then we are going to do, as I say, a Lightship event in America too. At this point, it looks very strongly like we're going to be doing it in the Blue Ridge Mountains at a beautiful venue that's in North Carolina. But that's all still being negotiated. So that's my story about that. If you have questions, please raise your hand, or particularly for my previous experiencers, those who were here in South Africa, if you would like to share some of your experience of the Lightship that we did here in South Africa, please raise your hand. I'd love to hear from you. And then we can answer questions, and we can clear up whatever you'd like to ask. So let's see, Barbie has raised her hand. Thank you, Barbie. Please go ahead and unmute yourself.
I had a thought about coordinating in the USA. It seems like for many people, it might be overwhelming to try to coordinate something if they haven't done it before. But my thought was, I used to do it years ago before computers, so I don't have a problem, but I just can't do all the work. In other words, I've got different legs of my life that require responsibility. So putting things in balance and proportion. So what I was thinking, if 3 of us could come together as a team, one of us could maybe handle being sure that the finances are getting coordinated. Another one could handle more of the caring issues of dealing with the people that want to come, their logistics, how's this going to work for them, and be in communication with the people that want to attend Tribe Life. I would go ahead, and if there's a place that's found, I'd be happy to negotiate the bigger events and the organizing of how that would go and all that kind of thing. I found 2 places in California, but California is egregious right now as far as price goes and what it would take to get there. But as we were doing the meditation, the downloads that were coming to me is I know some wonderful people, and I didn't think about this before, it didn't occur to me, in the Fallbrook area. Fallbrook is another beautiful area that has incredible vibes, and plus another home that I found in Escondido. So maybe we could do a 3-day out there. And one of the things that was coming to me as we were meditating this morning is when we were in South Africa, when the energy that we created there lasted there, the residents who were taking care of us noticed the difference. And it's amazing because we don't leave a place the same when we leave. So we are doing an incredible service to the community by just creating these lightships in the area. Now, one of the things that is really fun to do, and what I love doing, Fallbrook has a tremendous drumming circle. They are amazing. And they meet every I think it's a Sunday afternoon or whatever it is. I'll have to check and see how that schedule is going. So I'm thinking if we do a 3-day, or maybe next year, if we come back and do something else, we can give to a drumming circle group in Ventura, where I'm at right now, where my 2 daughters have families up here, have a wonderful gathering every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. It's ukulele. It's more the old timers. It's not this it's not a younger crowd, but oh my God, it's so much fun. And I can send you videos that come on Facebook all the time that are taken while we're out there singing. We all get up and different ones sing, and who cares how good you are? It's just getting up and sharing and being, and the energy. I can imagine what it'd be like if we all came and participated. And with the group, it would be amazing, and how it would change that whole harbor. So we, in doing the lightship, we're doing it because we want, it's a acceleration of releasing shadow work that we all will have to do until we're out of here. And but when you give, you get. So when you give of yourself and you share what you're getting, it just keeps pouring in and going out and pouring in and going out. And you become an amazing tool. And you don't even, people, I mean, it's nothing you say, it's the energy you carry that precedes you and affects the group. So I'm thinking, wow, we are not only doing this for our own growth, but we are changing the area that we're in. So that's pretty amazing to me. And I think that there's great potential for that even with just a 3 day. So I'm going to see if it's possible for a 3 day out there and see how many people would be willing to do a 3 day that's not going to be costly. Maybe I've got some friends that might be willing to donate their home for that purpose. So I hadn't thought about, calling them, but I'll see what I can do to coordinate that. So if we don't have the facilities, maybe we can find people in our area that would open up to that. And I think everybody, um, knows people that would have a home that maybe a Saturday afternoon, maybe it's two homes in one area. It doesn't have to be all one home, and that would be willing to host Arn and Zoe as well. And we can just figure the hosting out as we go. They'll be kind of packing their bags for all, but then maybe we can all donate and put them up in a resort where they could just enjoy being by themselves for a week or so. I'm thinking maybe put them up in Big Bear is really fun, and that would give them a rest and a break. I mean, Idlewild, and it would give them a rest and a break, and just I mean, that's 3 months of ministering, and that's a lot of time that needs to be recovered. So I don't know, these thoughts are going through my head, but I thought if there's a couple of people in the United States that would like to help coordinate on the East Coast and the West Coast, because we're in a time frame where we can work this. And then we can just keep uh, Lisa and Zingdad or Arn abreast of what we're doing, because our emails should include copies to them so they see what's going on always. And then we'll just do everything if we can, by email or written message so that nothing is misconstrued or not understood, and we can correct anything that needs to be done. So if I have two volunteers from the US, it would be wonderful. We could work together, and it'll make it so much more fun and easier to put together. So I'm if you don't volunteer, guess what? I'm coming after you anyway. And I'm thinking specifically, if you want to know the truth, of Michael and Scott. I think you guys would be fabulous to help pull things together. You may not think so, but I do. I think you would work great. So let's just see if we can't coordinate that. Also, Scott, there's a wonderful man with a farm. He is the health practitioner, Mick Call, at 35 for Life, and has a farm. I don't think it's too far from where you are in Texas. And I just see the potential of maybe having him come and share some time and really help us in different arenas, because he's an amazing practitioner, has saved many lives through just the simple things that are not terribly costly, that would help us in as our physical bodies are changing. So that's enough for now. Let me just so if you guys don't want to do it, that's okay, but I'm not going to be happy. So I don't think you have a choice. So let's just get it happening. Okay, on to the party.
Bless you, Barbie. That's beautiful. All right, so folks, if you're feeling the thrill, if you're feeling called, or if you've accepting Barbie's nomination, please just drop an email to zingdad@zingdad.com. And then we can coordinate everybody, and we can put together the three-person committee as Barbie suggests, or however we'll then put everyone together and make this happen. This is potentially so exciting. We're going to be having such a beautiful time together, raising frequency together, creating reality together. And I can tell you, having been in my first Lightship here in South Africa. It's kind of addictive. Once you've experienced unconditional love and unity consciousness in a group like that, it's kind of addictive. There's nothing else quite like it. So I hope we're going to do many of these Lightship events across America in this time when I'm going to be there between now and the end of the year. And I do anticipate, because there really feels like an invitation, particularly I've just been talking to people in Germany, there feels like a strong invitation that we'll be back, next year. So we'll keep doing this. We'll keep raising frequency. We'll keep planting seeds. We'll keep doing our magic until the event happens, and then suddenly we're in a new world, and there are lightships, and our galactic brothers and sisters are here, and well, then we're in a new world. Then we don't have to do this anymore. Okay, so we're kind of over time already. Officially, we said we would be running until 7 p.m. GMT. But if there are any other questions, or if any other of our experiencers would like to talk, please raise your hand. We'll run over just a few minutes if there are. And if there aren't, we'll say goodnight. It seems, thank you for your comment, Zoe. Zoe says it was truly a profound experience, intense at times. It is work. It's actually hard work, co-creating a lightship, because you really show up. You really navigate some tough stuff. We trigger each other's shadows, and then we discover that it's safe. There's a safe space to be triggered. And we do all of this amazing work together, and you leave transformed. Not only transformed, but connected. You leave feeling like you have soul family. Ulf has his hand up. Go ahead, brother.
Hi, everyone. It was a wonderful evening and breathing experience with all of you. And I would like to share some insights and reactions from the South Africa Lightship event. And I would say and summarize in the words of expect the unexpected, as I seriously didn't expect what was happening afterwards. But I knew in the beginning it is perfectly the thing to go and the thing to be, and it was amazing. So expect the unexpected. We experienced some closeness I have never felt. I've been showing vulnerability and showing myself. And in this group of people that we hardly knew, never have met before in this life. And that was so a wonderful process to grow together, to cry together, to dance together, and to laugh together, that I can only recommend it. Anybody who's drawn into this, attracted by the vibe you felt maybe today, this is 10 times more potential than anything you've ever felt before. So welcome to the Lightship event in Germany and wherever it may be. Thank you.
Thank you, Ulf. Yeah, absolutely. Expect the unexpected. Expect the miraculous. People have really had miraculous changes, have really found their lives shifting afterwards. You have such a high frequency experience, and then you go back to your life, and everybody kind of struggled going back to their lives. But it's not like it's not the sort of the revival tent experience. It's not this amazing experience, and then you go back to your life and you just return to your normal. You experience that differential, but it works on your life, and things pick up afterwards. Things transform afterwards. So it really is an amazing personal experience, an amazing healing experience, an amazing community experience, an amazing gift to the environment, to life, to the planet. It's all of those things. So I really very much hope to see many of you, all of you, either at one of the Lightship events or at the 3-day events. And I think that more or less is my story. That's more or less what I wanted to say. Just to close, to say thank you very much to everybody that was here. Thank you for your energy, for your participation, for being a part of the magic that we had this evening. And especially to my beloved brother Josh. Thank you so much for your amazing leading and your amazing breath work. And that's my story. So I love you all with the heart of oneness. And I look forward to seeing you all again sometime soon, wherever that might be. Thank you, everybody. Good night.